You are welcome to the 6th lecture and the last lecture in writing skills, CIE 211 and 111. The topic says reports, curriculum vitae, and memorandum. We are going to demonstrate how to write reports, curriculum, and memorandum. First, we look at report writing. According to BA 1998, a report is a document providing an account of events witnessed, work carried out, or investigation conducted, together with conclusion and often recommendation arrived at as a result of the investigation. In other words, a report is a detailed account of events that someone has thoroughly observed, heard, done, or investigated and presented as an official document. A report is usually written to guide organizations in policy formulation and decision making. It is usually written on the basis of some stated objectives and for a particular category of audience. A person who is tasked with writing a report is usually given instructions and guidelines on how to go about writing the report. This may include a clearly structured format consisting of sections, headings, and subheadings, so that the location of information can be easily followed. What are the qualities of a good report? First, a good report must be clear, accurate, and unambiguous. A good report must be well structured and highly organized. It should have sections and subsections. It must be informative. A good report must have clearly defined objectives and scope and must consider the needs of potential readers. The language of reporting. The following usages should be avoided in report writing and other formal discourses. First, contractions, cliches, idioms. Also, in writing formal documents, you should avoid euphemisms, slangs, uncommon abbreviations, and acronyms. Apart from these kinds of approved abbreviations and acronyms, all others, especially those used in text messages, should never be used in formal writing. We have types of reports. Reports can be classified on the basis of their nature, formality, purpose, and functions. They can therefore be regarded as routine reports, eyewitness reports, investigative reports, progress reports, and research project reports. However, all the above types of reports can be grouped into two main types, formal and informal reports. Now let's look at the informal reports. An informal report is a report that does not follow the rules and guidelines directed by an organization. It can be written to send information to only one person or for a small number of individuals. Such reports are usually shared among co-workers within an organization in form of a memorandum. Formal reports, on the other hand, is also known as official report, as it means meant for official purposes. It is written to provide information, analyze issues, and make recommendations on how to solve a problem or make a decision. Examples of formal reports include research project report, police report, evaluation report. The structure of a formal report depends upon one's departmental or organizational requirements. However, the format explained below is largely used in writing formal reports. Some parts of a report writing. We have the title page, we have the table of contents, we have the executive summary or abstract, which gives a brief explanation of the contents of the report. We have the introduction or terms of reference. Here, the reporter should clearly discuss all the necessary background information, aim and objectives of the report, as well as definition of all the abbreviations and acronyms in the report. This includes also methods of investigation, where the writer is expected to give a detailed description of all the methods used to gather the data for the report. We have finally the findings and conclusion. This section deals with the logical presentation of the findings of the report. To further support the results of the investigation, the writer may decide to include diagrams, tables, and graphs. Still on report writing, we have recommendation, appendices, and bibliography, where the writer or the reporter lists in alphabetical order the author, all published sources referred to in the report. This is a topic on writing curriculum vitae, or often called CV. When applying for a job, it is paramount for job seekers to give a good impression to potential employers. This can only be achieved through writing a good curriculum vitae. It is also called resume. CV is a personal marketing document that job seekers use to sell themselves to potential employers. Thus, it is an important step in securing a job. As such, when a written CV is done properly, the candidate stands a good chance of securing a dream job. Conversely, when it is poorly written, the candidate may face rejection repeatedly from employers. As such, a CV is expected to explain to your prospective employers a lot about you, including your professional history, skills, abilities, and achievements, as well as why you are the best person for the job on offer. The University of Southampton Guide for Writing a CV identifies the following 10 rules of writing a successful CV. Here are the rules of writing a CV. First, it has to be simple. 2, highlights. Since it's a marketing tool, one should make sure the CV highlights all one's personal and professional achievements to date. Your CV has to be truthful. It also has to be unique. In essence, the style and tone of your CV in writing CV should be personal to one. In other words, one should be direct, positive, and personal. Still on the rules of CV, the content of one CV should be tailored in line with the current job application requirements as such, as well as the job description. A CV should be word processed. It should be typed and spelling grammar checked using word processor. One also needs to avoid using slang, colloquialism, and cliches in CV. Your CV has to be succinct. One needs to be short and concise. in writing CV. Employers are never impressed with several pages of useless information. This, however, does not mean that many information should be lumped in together. Also, in all the subheadings of a CV, the most recent event should come first. So we have a reverse chronology, followed by the next, and so on. One should give one CV to a respected colleague to critically proofread and review it. And finally, a CV should be typed in an A4 size paper using an appropriate font size and style. Information should be well spaced so that the CV looks neat, qualitative, professional, and easy to read. You should know that CV is unique to different institutions and employers. As such, there is no one style for CV. However, there are some formats or some peculiarities that should be in every CV. One of them is the personal details. You should also have your personal profiles. Also, a CV should contain your employment history. Even if you are not involved in any paid employment, it is likely that you are doing something at the time from which you have learned a new skill. Your CV should contain your education and qualifications. In writing your CV, you should have additional sections. These additional sections may strengthen your CV and highlight your skills. The following are some of the sections that can be included. 1. Key skills. 2. Hobbies and interests. 3. Your referees. This is the last part of the 6th lecture, and we are going to look at the internal memorandum. This is a memorandum written and circulated to people within the same organization. In other words, internal memorandum is a brief written communication aimed at passing information from an organization to its various employees or between and among officials in the organization. The topics of internal memorandum may range from general notifications, requests for actions, to invitation for meetings. The format of an internal memorandum differs from one organization to another. Thus, in writing a memorandum, some organizations may have specific formats peculiar to them. In general, though, an internal memorandum has the following formats. 1, it has a heading, which captions internal memorandum or internal memo. It also has the format where we have from. This comes at the left-hand side of the page and shows the title of the officer writing the memorandum internal. Memo also contains to, which comes below from, and indicates the designation of the recipients of the memorandum. It contains the date. This is written below the column 2. It also contains the subject, the body, which is the actual information the memorandum intends to convey. It also contains the name of the writer. Here is a sample of an internal memo. As we can see, All the parts are well stated here and very clear. We also have the external memorandum. Unlike the internal memorandum, which functions within an organization among the staff members, the external memorandum is usually written to send messages to the general public or other external organizations and bodies in order to convey information on certain specific issues. In other words, an external memorandum is written for the people outside a company organization and is written in a more formal approach. Like in most continuous writing tasks, external memorandum has an introduction, main body, and conclusion. It is important to note that the format of external memorandum differs from one company to another and depends on the person or organization to which the memorandum will be sent. However, most of external memorandum are written in form of formal letters. We have come to the end of the Module 5, Writing Skills, and this is the last part of the lecture. Thank you for reading and thank you for listening. And if you have reached to this point, it means that you have actually completed the course. Thank you.